Hi everyone, welcome to this session. So today we are going to see the topic about inheritance. Inheritance you might have heard about in many languages. Many programming languages supports inheritance. Whichever language supports OOPS concept, object-oriented programming concept, for sure there is a concept called inheritance. So today we are going to see step by step, very in depth, right? From step by step we are going to see. So as part of this session, we will see like introduction about the inheritance, what is inheritance, mainly like why we need to go for inheritance, right? What are the benefits or advantages that inheritance provides, and we will go with real time example, right? We will go with various pictures to understand, you know, the concepts of inheritance in a better way. And finally, we will go with the hands-on coding. So I'll be developing, various classes, right, line by line to, by making sure you are getting the concept, through code as well as through theory. So this is what we are going to cover. And inheritance, as you know, it is one of the pillar important concept in object-oriented programming, right? So let's get started. So before starting, I would like to introduce about myself. So myself Sashi Kumar, and I'm basically from Tamil Nadu. Currently, I'm working in Bangalore. So I'm a software engineer by profession. So I have around 13 plus years experience. So I worked in various organizations like Verifone, ITC Infotech, Biz Sciences, Neobytes, right? Currently, I'm working in a product-based company where I'm playing a role as a project technical architect. So it means like I take care of, around 6 to 7 applications where I taking care of the application completely, and I am managing around 13 members in my team. So along with that, in my organization, I give various trainings depends upon the need, and and also I am part of interview panel where I interview freshers, experienced people. So, in these 13 years, I have worked on various technologies like Java, core Java, like advanced level Java, like, in the very beginning, like servlet, JSpace, right from there. And also, like, working, currently, I'm working with, like, Spring Boot technologies, Hibernate, database side, cloud side, like AWS, Azure, and also like DevOps side, like CI/CD pipelines like Jenkins. CI/CD is nothing but continuous integration and continuous deployment. Jenkins is one of the tool which supports CI/CD. And also, as I said, like I worked on DB side as well, database side, like designing the table schemas, right? Writing triggers, stored procedures. Along with that, I have worked on like Python, using data analytics, right? And a few more technologies like automation testing. Also, I have experience like Selenium, Cucumber, right? So various front end also I worked like Angular, like basic technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. So I have been, working on various technologies in the past 13 plus years experience. So currently also, I am involving in various things, mainly like, I love coding, and also, I love, sharing my knowledge. And along with my journey, so I'm a founder of Mercy Technologies. So this Mercy Technologies, it is an educational institute, educational company where we train freshers, college students, job seekers, working people, so to learn the technical things very in depth. This is very brief introduction about me. So let's see, in today's main topic, we are going to see about inheritance, right? We will see what are the things we are going to learn about in inheritance, right? let's go ahead and see. So you might know that what is inheritance. Inheritance is one of the concept in any object oriented programming language, right? So today we are going to see the main things about inheritance. So what are the concepts are there? We will see one by one. So first and foremost thing is what is inheritance? So you, as you know, like inheritance is one of the fundamental and pillar concept in object oriented programming. It can be any language. It can be Python or it can be any programming language which has OOPS concept, object oriented programming. So whichever language supports object oriented programming, so that supports, of course, inheritance. In C++ also you might have heard about inheritance, right? So syntax might be different from one language to another language, but whereas that concept of that topic will be similar, right? So inheritance is the very fundamental concept in object oriented programming, right? So what is inheritance actually? It is nothing but you write the code in one class, right? From there, right, we in our real-time application, we supposed to develop multiple classes, multiple logics, right? So the same logic we no need to write again and again, right? So only one time you can write it and you can keep it in the parent class. So if you want the same logic to the in different place, what you can do is you can just inherit the parent class. So in simple words, if I say inheritance is nothing but a child class can inherit properties or behaviors from the parent class. Properties or behaviors are nothing but fields and methods. This we will see. So you might be wondering why we need inheritance, right? In real time. So consider like, you are purchasing a few products from Amazon website, right? So when you are purchasing, what you will do? You will find, the best price and the best product based on the review, based on the comments, right? Based on the star rating. So you will find the best product, right? And what you will do, you will check out that product, then you will fill your address details, finally you will do the payment. Say for example, in payment there are various options, right? Either you can do by credit cards. Again, in credit card there are few options. Again, you can go with a debit card, or you can go with internet banking. Again, in internet banking there are different banks are available, like State Bank of India, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra, right? There are various banks are there under internet banking. And again, you can go with Amazon Pay. There is an option Amazon provides. Again, even you can go with COD also, cash on delivery, right? So if you see, payment is one of the concept, right? For payment means you might need, right, few details. Say for example, account number and account name and IFSC code, everything, right? These are the basic details any payment should use, right? Will be using internally. So these basic details you can keep it in one class, right? Account number, account name, right? IFSC code, branch name, all the things. So all of the things, say for example, credit card will inherit these details, basic details. What it requires, specific to credit card, you will have credit card number, then CVV number, right? Expiry date. Same with the debit card number, CVV number, and expiry date. Say for example, you are going with internet banking. Then again, internet banking, you are having multiple options, different banks, right? State Bank of India, right? SBI. What SBI wants? SBI wants account number, account name, IFSC code, branch detail. If you have IFSC code, you will get everything. Similar with Axis Bank or ICICI Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Indian Bank, right? All requires some common details again and again, right? Again and again, right? So instead of duplicating the code, duplicating the information everywhere, what you do is you keep the information in one place. So whoever needs, let them make use of it. Say for example, credit cards need certain information. Go to the base class, get the details, make use of it. Internet banking, SBI need few details. Any of you will be having like account number, account details. Take it, right? Amazon Pay needs something. You are getting it, right? So if I want to duplicate this information, I might need to duplicate 10 to 20 places, right? Different payment options. So inheritance comes here, right? Where you can define the properties, behaviors, right? In one class, that class called as parent class, right? And whoever wants, internet banking can be one of the child class, Google Pay can be one of the child class, right? So this child class can just get all the details from the parent class and develop its own implementation. I hope you guys understood very high level what is inheritance. So we are going to see very in depth, right? You might not need to know, might not need to worry about in case if you are not able to understand from this definition, that is okay. But what I can say is, from this next example, for sure you will understand. Say, for example, you know, uh, your parent is having few properties, one crore rupee in their savings bank account. We really want, right? We will be happy if our parents are having these things. That's okay. So consider a parent is having like money, one crore rupees amount in their savings bank account, and they are having one big house, and they are having one BMW car, right? Dream car with dream house with the dream money. So parent is having all these properties, right? Assets, right? So now what child will get? Of course, child will get all the properties from the parents, right? Child will get 1 crore money from parent, one house and one car, right? So parent gifting the gifting the things to their child. So consider child is growing up, and he or she is studying well, and he or she getting into business. Then what child can do? He or she can earn more amount from the 1 crore, and he or she can buy bike and more assets, right? He or she can start the company. And if you see here, child is inheriting the properties from the parents, right? So child is not like left out nothing, right? Instead, if parent is having all these assets or properties, what child will get everything, right? Child will get all the assets, properties from their parents, and child can have their own properties as well, right? Child can earn, child can buy many things. So child here, it has two things. One is properties inherited from parents, and its own properties, right? And another example I can say, if you observe, right, many of our relatives will say, if a newborn baby is born, what they will say is, hey, this child looks like her mom, looks like her dad. The nose is like her mom, the eyes are looking like her dad. Again, it is inheritance. you know uh, Deriving or inheriting parents physical or characteristics. Few people will say, hey, your mom is so silent, this child also looks like very silent. And also, hey, he is looking like our grandparents, right? Grandfather, or grandmother. So inheriting the characteristics, right? Properties, characteristics, good things or bad things, simply inheriting the properties. Either it can be physical, or it can be good characteristics, or bad characteristics, whatever it may be. But the child is inheriting you know things from their parents. So this is the second real time example. Please let me know once you are able to understand the concept, whatever I teach. High level, can you able to understand what is inheritance? you know can you guys please quickly reply whether you are able to follow me? Perfect. Perfect. Thanks for your replies. Now, so let's get into programming, right? Let's get into programming, right? So, before going into programming, you need to make sure this is from parents, right? The child did not do anything, simply getting the parents, getting the properties, assets, characteristics from parents, and the child will be having its own properties as well. So, you can keep that in mind, right? Real time example, right? This is how we design in IT. Say for example, you are having a person class, right? So consider you want to go with different types of persons, right? You are having employee and you are having student, right? So person will be having some basic detail, right? Person name, date of birth, gender, right? First name, last name, address, right? All the common properties related to human, right? So the person is called parent class or super class or base class. If someone refers you, hey, this is super class, it is nothing but, it can be, you can give any names. All these three names are pointing out to person. Person is called as parent class or super class or base class, right? And from person, what we are doing is we are defining employee class and student class. What is employee? Employee is nothing but it is extending. You see the arrow mark here? It is extending, right? It is extending person class. So person class will be having its own properties. We will see what is that. And employee, what it does is it is extending. It means how we say in like parent class and subclass, right? Child class, right? So child class, employee class will inherit all the properties from person class. Similar way, we are having one more class called student class, right? Student class also will be inheriting all the properties from person class, right? Will be inheriting all the properties from person class, and student class can have its own properties as well. Student class can have its own properties as well, right? Its own properties as well. So here student and employee class are called as child class. Parent means here it is child, right? In upper it is showing as parent class. In down it is child class. Super class means here it is subclass, right? Base class or derived class. If you say child class or subclass or derived class, all are pointing out employee or student class, right? So this is clear, right? Person is the super class or parent class or base class. So it is having set of properties. We are going to see one by one. So always my approach is step by step, right? Then we will go like advanced level, right? The very real time example is in even in database, in any programming language, this is how we design, right? In inheritance concept. So whatever common properties are there, you will keep it in some common class called person class. So employee class is inheriting the properties from person class. Students also inheriting properties from person class. Employee can have its own properties. Students also can have its own properties, right? So these terminologies you should remember. Person class called as parent class or super class or base class. Whereas, you know, um, employee class is called as child class or subclass or derived class, right? So we are good. Up to this, we are good. Now let's go to next. We are going very deeper now. Previously we have seen very high level. Now we are going to very deeper, right? So first example we are going to see person with employee, right? Person with employee we are going to see. So again, employee is the subclass, right? Subclass or derived class or child class, right? Person is the super class or base class or parent class. So what employee does? Employee extends. This is the technical word in Java. It is a keyword, right? Extends means this is where it is establishing the relationship, right? This is where it is establishing the relationship with person class. If I say employee, class employee extends person, it means, employee class is the subclass and there can be many classes, right? There can be many parent classes. Which class you want to make as a parent? What is the relationship, right? So here I can say person is the super class, child is the employee is the child class because the extends keyword. Now let's see what the person class is having. See, person is the common, right? I have the person name, right? Person can have the name, person can have the age, and the person can have the gender, right? These are the common properties, right? Again, what else person can have? I'm going to keep one method called display. This display method is going to display all the person related information like name, age, gender, right? Now what employee can have? Employee can have specific information. Before to that, employee is extending person. What it means? In the very first example, we seen that parent is having some assets. When child is inheriting parent, he or she will get all the properties from parent, right? Now, when employee class is inheriting from person, so employee class will have all the things are inherited to employee class, right? It's very clear. So now employee class also will be having name, age, gender, and display method, right? Guys, please, listen carefully. When employee class is inheriting, right? In the previous example, we seen that when child is inheriting the parent, child is getting all the details, all the properties like one crore amount, house and car. Similar way, employee class will get receive or inherit all the properties of a person, right? Properties and methods. And addition to that, employee can have its own properties. Like we know that employee will have employee ID, employee will have salary, right? But all the persons cannot be employee, right? Because few person can be housewife, few person can be businessman, right? So we can say all the employees are persons because person is the super class. For sure, we know that all the employees by default they are humans, they are persons, right? So this is possible from bottom to top, it is possible. But we cannot say all the persons are employees because few might not be employee, right? So what I am trying to say is when employee can have its own properties like employee ID, for sure all the employee will be having employee ID, right? Why we need to have each employee can have employee ID? Because employee ID is the unique one, right? Similar way, all the employees will have salary, right? If you observe, and employee is having a method called work method, right? Now, if you observe, guys, listen very carefully. So we have few properties like in person class we are having name, age, gender, and employee class we are having employee ID and salary. These are the fixed number, right? All these are called as fields, properties, attributes, or instance variables. In IT company or in interview or in your college, right? When you are studying, if your professor or your interviewer, if you ask, hey, what is meant by property? What is the employee class fields? What is the attributes? All are same only, right? Only names are different. You can refer these things in any one of the name, right? Name, age, gender, employee ID, salary, all are called as fields or properties or attributes or instance variables, right? I'll be sharing the material, might be end of the session or tomorrow. You no need to worry. If you want to take the notes, you are having notepad and pen. That is really good. You can write everything in your pen. That is good. But don't forget to listen. So all these fields are called as properties or fields or attributes or instance variables. Then you can ask, hey, what about display and work? Right? These are called as behaviors, right? These are called as behavior. It can behave. Working is one of the behavior, right? One action, you can say it is an action, right? So it is a behavior or instance methods. We can say function, but in Java we will not use the term called function. Instead we will use methods, right? Method means it is going to do something, some behavior, right? Some action. So if you know up to this concept, inheritance is done. That's all about inheritance. right? Again, let me come again. So person is the base class, super class or parent class. So we keep all the common properties inside person, right? So inside person, common properties like name, age, gender, display method. These are the common properties we are going to keep inside person class, correct? And employee is the child class, right? Employee is the child class. So inside employee, so employee is the child class which is inheriting from person, right? Which is inheriting from person. How we can say it is inheriting? Because we are using the keyword called in extends, right? When I use extends keyword, it is inheriting from person. So it means whatever person properties, all properties are inherited to employee class. It means it is available to employee class. Employee class can make use of name, age, gender and display method, right? Because all are available inside employee class, correct? So the person is called as parent class, super class, base class, whereas employee class is called as child class, subclass or derived class, right? So employee can have its own properties, right? We seen that in the previous example that child can have its own property. He can have its own bike, right? Or his or her own bike, or he can have his own her own assets. That is possible, right? So these things, variables, right? Instance variables are these are called as fields or properties or instance variables or attributes, right? The action, right, which we are going to perform, that is called behavior or instance methods, right? Are you clear? 100 percentage? Please let me know. Please comment if you are 100 percentage clear, then we can proceed. Thanks for your replies. Thank you. So let's go with one more example. In the previous example, I said, right? So you are having like, we are going to see two classes. One is employee class. Employee class is having. So with this example, we cannot say inheritance is possible because we need more example. That's why we are going with one more example called student. Then you will come to know why we need base class. Again, in student also, student will be having name, student will be having age, student will be having gender, right? So that is where inheritance comes. You see here again, student also inheriting person class, right? Why I say inheriting? Because we are using extends keyword. Now person is the base class or super class or parent class, whereas student is a child class or subclass or derived class, right? So now, when it is extending person class, it is inheriting all the parent class person class properties, right? Name, gender, age, and display method. And student can have its own methods, its own properties. See, student will be having student ID or registration number or roll number, right? It can be anything. And the student will be having course. Either it is BE, BTech, ME, MTech, PhD, it can be anything, right? And student will be having its own action method called study, right? Again, it is simple. Same example only I have given, right? So above name, age, gender, student ID, course, all are called as fields or properties or attributes or instance variables, right? And the action which is going to perform like display or study, these are called behavior or instance methods, right? Now, let's see the code base one by one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use, there are many editors are there in the industry. So, IDE you can say like integrated development environment, right? Let me take some notes. So we can develop the Java application using various ways. One is you can simply use Notepad and the command prompt, right? Which is very older way, right? Very older way, right? So you can develop the program and you can run it, right? Second one is you can use IDEs, right? What is IDE? It is simple, integrated development environment, right? Environment. right? This is called IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So what it means? It means it provides an environment where you can develop your applications. It can be web applications or desktop applications, or it can be standalone applications, right? Say for example, there are in industry, we will be using few things. One is IntelliJ. So I used IntelliJ as well. And second one is Eclipse. Eclipse also, it's one of the IDE. On top of, what the Spring people, Spring developers, they done is they have taken Eclipse. On top of Eclipse, they developed, one IDE called STS. This is mainly for Spring related application, enterprise applications, right? So this is called Spring Tool Suite. We are going to use this. Again, you are having like, many IDs like Visual Studio Code. There are many are there in the industry, right? But popular ones are like IntelliJ, Eclipse, and Spring Tool Suite, correct? And Spring Tool Suite. So we are going to use, we can use any one of the IDE, right? Either it can be IntelliJ or Eclipse or STS. So what we are going to use is, I'm going to use Spring Tool Suite. This is nothing but exactly same as Eclipse. So what I have done is, now I have opened, this is my Eclipse, correct? So what I'm going to do, this is a new window here, new environment where I can develop my applications, right? So I'm going to create a new project. There are many ways to create a project. You can go with file, new, Java project, right? File, new, Java project. This is one of the option. Second option is directly you can click this link, create a Java project. So I'll go with file, new, Java project, right? You can give any name here. So let me give inheritance. You can give application name here, right? Suppose consider you are developing on shopping cart, then you can give shopping, the project name as shopping. Then you can go with, by default you should have Java and all. So in case if you are not aware how to download and install Java and all, you can refer my previous videos. You can WhatsApp me and you can ask me, sir, I need a recording of basic core Java download and installation allowable program. I will share it with you. Okay, then you can select the environment. Then you no need to worry about, press next, then press finish. Okay, if you observe left hand side, there is an project got created called inheritance, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one base class here. Click new, right click on the src, click new and class. Here we are going to give the class, right? Package, you can give any package. Say for example com.mercy. No need to worry about the package, no need to worry about. You can give class name. Name is the person name. So let's go with again some notes here. So there are few standards, right? Class name should start with uppercase, right? And follow camel case, right? Camel case. What it means? It means you are going to name the class as a person class. Then first letter should be uppercase, right? First letter should be uppercase. Say for example, you are going to perform like employee related, database related option means, then you can go with employee, okay, database query, something like that. You need to follow the camel case, right? Start with uppercase, then one word, then camel. Again, new word means again start with uppercase, one more new word, start with uppercase. This is the naming convention. So class name should start with uppercase. Don't give smaller, small letter. That is totally wrong. It is not industry standard. So you can click finish. If you observe, there is a package got created com.mercy. Under that, we have one class got created called person. Let's increase the size. Windows preferences. Let me increase the size. Font, colors and font. Let's go with basic. Let me increase the text font. Let's click edit, right? Let's go with 18. 18 should be fine, I think, right? Yeah, 18 is fine. Then let's go with console font also. Console. Might be. Text font, we have seen it. 18, right? Terminal font. Might be. Yeah, console this one. Let's increase this font as well. Yeah, it is already good. So now we are good, right? This is our person class, correct? Now what we are going to do, we are going to develop our Java application. Guys, usually people will feel like Java means it is very difficult language. I heard with many people, right? It is really difficult. Python is easier or some other language is easier. Java is difficult. I can understand it has many concepts, right? Many theory behind it. But it's really very good language. I can say it is an amazing language. It provides, it started, James Gosling invented on 1991, right? Late, early 1990s. Then, first version, I think it is JDK 1.1 got released during 94 or 95. Past 25 years, right? More than 25 years, Java is still ruling the industry. So Java has many futures, right? Still many projects or applications are running, right? Billions of devices are supporting, right? Billions of web applications are running, right? But interesting part is Java is really interesting if you study, step by step, right? There are many hundreds of concepts are there in Java, right? But if you just directly jump into middle of the concept, surely you cannot understand. So you need to go step by step. So let's see step by step. And it is a object oriented concept. It means whatever objects are there in real time are there, that only we are going to develop. Let's see our real time example. Where is our real time example? This is our real time example, right? So what the person has, it has three fields: properties or attributes or instance variables: name, age, gender. That I'm going to declare here. All these three fields, name, age, gender, I'm going to declare in my class. We have created the person class. Person is the base class. You no need to define it is a base class. It is a class. That's okay. Name, age, gender, we are going to define. How I can create? It's simple. Data type, right? String is a name. Data type is a string. This is the name, right? And second property is age, right? Age comes under integer data type, right? Third one is a, what is third one? Gender. Gender again, it can be string, right? It can be male or female, right? That's all. It's simple, right? We have defined three properties or attributes. What is this as called? This has called fields or properties or attributes. Another technical term is instance variables. Instance variables. This is not simple variable. Don't say it is a variable. No, it is a instance variables. We will see what is instance variable later. I don't want to make it complicated. I want to make sure it is very simple, right? So these are the three fields or properties, attributes, instance variables. You can say three fields, right? Any name you can refer. Three fields we are having. So what is the method it has? It has a display method, right? Person class has display method. Simple, right? What I will do, I'm going to create one method, instance method, right? So that method name is a display method. Display method, right? It is going to display something, right? It is going to display something. It is an action or behavior. I need to define the return type here, right? So let me go with void, right? That's all. So the method is ready, right? Method is ready. What it is going to display? It is going to print name, age, and gender. So for printing in Java, we will use system.out.println, right? What we will use? See in editor, this is the benefit of editor. You no need to create everything. If I type SOP, control space, right? Right? SYSO, system.out.println, control space, I am getting this pop-up help. If I press enter, automatically it types, right? There are many shortcuts. Editors will do all these things, right? So I'm going to print. What I'm going to print? Simple. I'm going to print name, right? I'm just going to print the name is just I'm going to print name, right? Name I am printing. Guys, 1 minute. Yeah, I am back. Can you guys hear me? Please let me know. Am I audible? Perfect, right? Perfect. So it has its own instance method, right? So I'm going to copy paste here, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy paste, right? Name, age, and gender, right? So similar way, I'm going to change the variables as age and gender, right? So display method simple, it is going to print few details. What are attributes we are having? It is going to perform something. Now what I'm going to do, one more thing. I'm going to initialize these attributes. How I'm going to initialize? I can initialize through constructor. These are instance variables, right? Again, instance variables can be initialized. You might not aware about constructor means no need to worry. For now, you can understand that it is used to initialize. Constructor can be used to initialize instance variables, right? Constructor is used to initialize instance variables, right? Is used to initialize instance variables, correct? Constructors are used to initialize instance variables, right? So we are going to use constructor to initialize all the properties. How I can create constructor? Simple. Editor, you no need to type everything. Go with source, generate constructor using fields, correct? Click source and go to generate constructor using fields. How I'm going to generate? Simple. Go to source, then click generate constructor using fields, correct? So this is how we are going for it. Click source, generate constructor using fields. So it is asking which of the fields you want to select. Yes, the fields is name, age, gender. Press generate. See, you got the constructor, right? You no need to worry about more things about constructor, but for now you can understand constructors are used to initialize instance variables, not static variables. Okay, I clearly mentioned in the thing that it is used to initialize instance variable. There is a big difference between instance variable and static variables, right? For now, constructors are used to initialize instance variables. What is instance variable? Name, age, gender. You no need to worry about what is this dot name. You really no need to worry. Might be in the future we will take constructor class, there we will cover. So now if you observe the person class is same as like this, right? Person class has 3 attributes and 1 method. Similar way, we have defined 3 attributes and 1 instance method and with 1 constructor, right? We are good. Shall we go ahead with the next class? Please reply. Are you with me? Can we go ahead with the next class? Have you understood clearly? Please reply. I might need reply from everyone. I just want to make sure you are with me. Okay. If you are not able to understand, I can explain you. That's okay. But you should understand. Perfect. Even if you don't know Java also, that's okay. But you should understand. Okay, that's good. Now we have seen person class, right? This person class called as base class or super class or parent class, correct? Now what we are going to do, we are going to create one more class, correct? We have completed person class. Now we are going to create employee class. How to create a new class? Again, simple, right? Go with file, new class. You can go with file. Many options are there for creating a new class. Simple, file, new class, right? Go to file, new class, right? Let me go with file, new Java project and all that. No need to worry, class. Let it be under same package, calm.mercy. Let's go with, this is employee class, right? Employee, right? Let's click finish. See, one more class got created, right? Eclipse only generating this class. Now, I want to give the relationship, right? Employee class is the subclass and it is inheriting person class, correct? There can be thousands of classes, right? Person class, manager class, admin class, whatever it can be, right? But which class I want to inherit? Employee class should inherit person class. How I can define? Using extends keyword. Guys, little bit, I need your listening. By using extends keyword, we can make sure employee is the subclass of person, right? What we can do? We can derive the relationship by using extends keyword, right? We can inherit particular parent class or particular class, right? We can inherit particular class. So how I can go for it? Simple. It's really simple. You just type extends. Extensity is a keyword. See, keywords are shown in different colors. Package, public, class. These are called keywords or reserved words. You cannot use these words as a names of variables or class names, right? So which class you want to extend? Simple. Which class you want to extend? Person class. Just define the class name here. Simple, right? Very, very easy, right? See what it has? It has simple. Now this employee class is a subclass of person class. The employee class is the child class to person class, correct? Subclass or derived class or child class, all are same. Now employee class is inheriting all the properties, right? Name, age, gender. What is there in person class? It has name, age, gender, three things. Constructor will not be inherited. As I said, only two things will be inherited. One is instance variable, second one is instance method. See, instance variables and instance method. Display only one method and three attributes will be inherited to employee class. Correct? Am I correct? Now, employee class is having its own properties. What? It has its own properties, employee ID and salary and work method, right? Let's only go with, by default, now you know how many variables this employee class has. This employee class has three variables from person class. Inside person class, we defined three variables. All the three variables are available now in employee class. Don't think that this employee class does not have anything. No, from super class, because of extents, because of inheritance, the person class, right? It has three attributes from parents. In the previous, very previous example, what we have seen? The very previous example, child class, by default, it is inheriting all the properties from parents, right? Now, if we say, even though if child class does not have anything, consider this portion is not there, 5 crore and bike, if it is not there, by default, we can say, hey, child is having all these properties. That is automatically, right? Similar way, here employee class is having three attributes and one methods, right? Now employee class can have its own method. What is its own method? Employee class has its own method. What is that? employee ID, salary and work, right? Let's go with employee ID. Employee ID, consider we can go with a string type, right? It can have alphanumerical, right? Again, one more thing. If you observe, right, I always define variables in lowercase. Variable name should start with lowercase, right? Variable can be local variable or instance variable or static variable. But the fundamental rule is, right? Might be end of the session, I will give this note, right? Variable name should start with lowercase and should follow camel case. Okay. Now, if you observe camel case, employee I is D, right? Started with lowercase. This is one word. Second word is I. Then it is first letter is uppercase, right? So then end with semicolon. Then what is the next property? It has salary, right? Salary, let's go with a double data type, right? Some people can earn very big salary. Again, variable name should start with lowercase, right? These are very important things. In interview also you'll be getting, they might ask what is the rules for class. You can say class name should start with uppercase. Variable name should start with lowercase, correct? All are same. It is, you can call, this is child properties. Listen very carefully. Now, employee class having 5 attributes, right? 3 from person class, 2 from employee class. But person is having only 3 attributes. Person cannot have employee class attributes by default because person is the super class. Correct. So employee class is having 3 things. Then already one method is there from parent class, that is display method. That's okay. Now employee class can have its own method. What is its own method? I can say work method, right? Work method. This is one of the method, right? Instance method. It is not having any static keyword. What is the return type? I can just mention void return type, right? It's having its own method. What it is going to print? It is simple. Again, I'm going to print SYSO, control space, enter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say already we are having employee property, right? From person we are having name, right? Now employee class is having 5 properties, 3 from person. So in one of the properties called name, right? That name I can directly use it. Here I should not get any error. See here, I did not get any compile time error. If compile time error, if I use name one means it will give compile time error. If I use the department means it will give compile time error. What error it says? Department cannot be resolved to a variable because it says, hey, there is no variable you declared as a department. But if I mention it as name, it is not showing any error. Why? Because it is from parent class. Already it is available inside employee class, correct? I am just telling, hey, this employee is working and salary is, I'm just printing salary. What is the salary from here itself? SALARY, right? Now it's totally clear. I'm just printing one property from parent class, one property from child class. Simple, right? Again, I want to initialize employee ID and salary. I will go with constructor. In the previous notes we have seen, right? Constructors are used to initialize instance variables, right? Again, how to create constructor? It is simple. Source, generate constructor using fields. What I will do? I will go with source, generate constructor using fields, correct? Generate constructor using field. So I will go with generate. No need to worry about what is there inside. Really no need to worry about it. Just think that it is used to initialize, you know, variables or attributes, instance variables, right? It's simple. Now let's quickly ramp up what we have seen. We have person class, we define 3 fields and we used constructor to initialize values to instance variables, and we have one method. Now we are going with the employee class. Employee class is extending person class. It means all the properties, methods, instance variables, instance methods are inherited to employee class. Now it has totally 5 attributes, 2 methods, right? Display method and work method. And we are going with one more constructor. You really no need to worry. For now, you understand that it is used to initialize variables, right? We are good. Now we are exactly same as this diagram, right? We are having person class and we are having employee class. Employee class is extending person class. It means it is a subclass to person class. Guys, up to this, are you guys are clear? Please reply. You have any questions up to this? Only worry about what I'm teaching. No need to worry about anything. Up to this, are you 100% clear? Please do reply fast. Let's go. Yeah, I am waiting for your replies. Up to this, are you guys are clear? Okay, thanks for your replies. Okay, let's go for it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one client class. Why I need client class? To make use of this employee and child class, right? Let's go with file, new class. Class name can be client, right? It is a client class, right? Press finish. This is the client class. Now this is my actual Java class, right? I'm going to have main method. I'm just going to type main control space. Just type enter. You get everything, right? You no need to type everything. Just type main control space, then enter. You got the main method. Now what I'm going to do, simple. I'm going to create an object to person class. How to create an object to person class? Simple, right? Let's just, for experimenting purpose, creating object to person class, right? Person class. How to create? By using new keyword, right? How I can create new person of, right? And it is taking constructor, right? Employee class, as I said, it is taking some constructor. We need to initialize, right? We need to give some values. Name is nothing but I can give some name. Say for example, Mercy, right? And say for example, Mercy age is 7 years old, right? And what is her gender? She is a female, right? So this is person class. Now one physical object is created in the heap memory. In the last week to last week, we conducted one session called classes and objects. In case if you are did not attend, please WhatsApp me. Again, same number. I will share you the recordings. Okay. So there we have taken around 1 hour to 1.5 hours about class and object, similar way, right? So this is the physical object is created with the values of Mercy 7, right? And gender is female, right? Now this object is going to point by a reference called P1, right? This P1 is not a variable, it is a reference or pointer, right? Because in heap memory, objects are stored randomly, right? There can be thousands of objects. How you will reach the objects? Through reference name, right? So P1 is pointing this object. Now, guys, listen. Object is created, right? It is an instance, right? Object is nothing but instance, right? Another name for object is called as instance. Guys, listen carefully. Another name for object is instance. If someone says I'm creating instance, it means you are creating object, right? Instance or object both are same, right? Again, creating object is called as instantiation. I don't want to make it very difficult, but consider we are creating an object, one physical object is created and it is pointing by P1 reference variable, right? Now, how can I access this object? This is a static, non-static variable, right? So I can call this instance method by using P1 reference. How can I call? Simple. P1 dot display, right? P1 dot display. Now what I am doing here? Creating an object. Now what I am doing? Calling display method using P1 reference, correct? So let me run it. How to run the program? Simple. You can press the run button here. You see the run button here? Click run button. Click Java application. Press yes. See, you got your output. Name is Mercy. Age is 7. Gender is female. See, same method we invoked. We invoked a display method and it is going. Let's run it in compile time mode. I want to run it in debug mode. In our IT companies, right? Usually we will run it sometimes in production issue or something we want to debug, then we will go with the debugging mode. How to do it? Simple. Double click on this blue area. You will get one small bubble, very small bubble. You see here, right? One small bubble. If you double click, it will come. Then go with, debug as run. There are many options. You see the bug, right? Either you can directly click it or you can go with the run. Run as means it will automatically run. Debug means debug. Step by step, we are going to see. See, click the perspective. Now it is started. We are going to execute step by step, step by step. Listen very carefully. We are going to create this one F6. See, one physical object is created. See what it is having. Enlarge here. You see, age is 7, gender is female, name is Mercy. That's okay. Now I'm going with F5. I'm going inside display method. See, it flow is going, control is going inside display method. I'm going to execute line by line, right? F6, printing first line, name is Mercy, right? Then F6, printing second line, right? Age is 7. Then F6, printing gender, female, then come out. That's all. Now, even I can create second variable also. Nothing wrong, right? What I'm going to do? I'm going to create second object. Simple. Again, I'm teaching class and object. I know that's okay, but to make it better understanding, I'm going to create one more object called P2. Here I'm going with the angel. Consider her age is 30. Say for example, her age is 20, and let's go with gender equalization, David, and he is a male, right? Right. Again, this is a second object. Who is pointing? P2. P1 is pointing first object. P2 is pointing second object. Again, what I will do? Again, I can call P2 dot display, right? Simple. Very easy. P2 dot display. Now, let me run. Directly, let me run debug mode. See, first object, it got created. I am started printing F6, F6. Everything is done, right? When I print second object, right? See, second object name is David, age is 20, gender is male. Perfect, right? Are you clear? Shall we go ahead with the next topic? Please reply if you understood. Please reply fast. Perfect. Thanks for your replies. Now what we are going to do is, now this is we really don't want actually. Why I am telling don't want? Because we are going with inheritance, right? There is no point of using parent one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything. Okay. Now I'm going to create one object to employee class, correct? Let me create an object to employee class. How to create employee object? Simple, new employee of, right? I'm going to, how many parameters it takes? Because inside employee class, you are having 2 attributes from employee and 3 from person class, right? 5 attributes total. Name, if you observe name, age, gender, and employee ID, salary. Same only we are going to give here. What is name? Name, say for example, I give Angel, right? What is the second attribute? Age. Age I can give, say for example, 22. What is the third attribute? Third one is gender, employee ID, salary. Gender, say for example, female, right? And employee ID, say for example, he 100. Okay. Salary is, say for example, 90,000, right? That's all. One employee object is created, correct? Who is going to point? First one is physical object is created in the heap memory. It is going to point by employee type reference. Reference variable can be any name, EMP or E1, EMP1, any name. And we are linking by using equals method. Now what I'm going to do, simple. If I want to access inside employee class, how many methods are there? One is work method. Second one also available, right? From person class. Display method is inherited to employee class. Can I call display method using employee reference? Yes, because inside employee class, a display method is already available. Yes or no? Display method is already available. Let's run it and see the output. See, you are seeing Angel 22 female. But we did not print this thing. This you don't need to worry, right? Display method is there. Now, can I access work method? Yes. If I access work method, I'll be getting name is working and the salary is this salary we should get. So what I'm going to do? Let me put something like this. E1 dot, right? Let's print some segregators. Then we'll go with E1 dot work method, right? E1 dot work method. Let me run. See, you observed very carefully, right? See, first time we call display method. What display method does? Display method printing name, age and gender, right? Name, age and gender. See, it got printed. Second, we have called work method. What work method does? Work method is from employee class. It is printing this name is working and the salary is this salary, right? Correct. Perfect. So we are good. So we have printed two things, right? Two methods we have called. Consider let's go with one more object, right? You can create any number of object. Say for example, you are going with second object, right? Right? You are creating second object. E2 is pointing. Name is say for example Stanley brother. Stanley, right? Say for example his age is 35. He is a male, right? Say for example his employee ID is 200 and consider like he is earning around 1,50,000, right? So I am printing E1 dot display, right? Then E2 dot display, correct? Right. I am printing E1's reference. Then I am printing some big lines. Then again I am going to print E2 pointing also. E2 dot display, then E2 dot work, right? E2 dot work, correct? Let's run. You guys observe the output. See, first object is printing parent class. This is displays from parent class and child class its own method, right? Second object is having, again we are accessing parent class method and the child class is having like this, right? Have you understood 100%? So we are making use of everything. In case if you want to go for one more class, again we can go for it. It is very simple. Let's go with one more class, right? I know I will be going little faster. Say for example, you are having student class, right? Again, student class, this is the one, right? So it is going to extend person. Already person class is there, right? Simple. Similar way, how employee extended person class. Similar way, we are going to extend student class also we are going to create, right? Student class also we are going to create. I'm going with a new class called student, right? Again, I'm going with extending person class, right? So all the properties from person class will be inherited, right? Then student can have its own properties. Say for example, string student ID, right? Or roll number, whatever it is. Say for example, roll number, right? And student will have course also, course, right? And we can initialize using the constructor source, generate constructor using fields, click it, it got a constructor is done. Then student can have its own method also, right? So its own method, say for example void study, right? Study is the method, right, which is having, right? Say for example, now I am telling like this student, right, is studying which course? Studying the courses I can mention here, right? Simple, right? Only similar way. Student is the subclass. All the concepts are same. From person, it receives all the properties from student class, right? So I no need to develop again all the things from person class. In case if inheritance concept is not there, Then again I need to copy paste everything here, right? Right? So again in the client class, what you can do? Simple. Very simple. You create one object to student class. S1 is going to point new student of student name. Say for example, John, right? Student age, simple. Say for example, 18. Again, gender, male, right? Roll number, again in string or, 300, right? Again, course, say for example, B, right? B computer science, whatever it is, right? Say for example, B computer science, right? Now this is done. Now how I am going to inside student class, how many methods are there? One is from parent class, that is nothing but display method, right? Second one is a study. So I am going to access s1 dot display method, right? Then I'm going to print something. Then I'm going with s1 dot study, right? Let's run and see the output. This is quite interesting, right? See, name is John, age is 18, male, and we are getting output like John is studying the course BE computer science. How we are getting? Simple, that we are printing study method. So if you observe, person is the base class, all these properties. Now it is a employee class, right? Then you can go with one more non-employee class. Again, you can extend, their role, businessman, something like that, right? Director class, right? Something like that. You can make use of, everything from person class. Here we are having only three properties. In real time, in our software application, there can be hundreds of properties, hundreds of methods, because I know one class can go with thousands of lines, 4,000, 5,000, 8,000 lines can be there, right? So you no need to repeat again and again, right? So again, like when you go with this example, you have a person class, student class, you have person properties, student properties, you are going with the inheritance concept, you are reusing it, correct? So let's quickly go ahead and see what is the benefit of inheritance. See, you see the right code reusability. We have seen in person class. In the base class, you define all the common codes, right? Common properties, common methods are defined in the person class, right? Or in the base class. It can be any class, right? Even consider library also you are trying to make any class. As I said in the Amazon application, payment can be the base class. GPay is the subclass extending payment class. PhonePe is the subclass extending payment class. You are getting me right? Might be, Again, internet banking can be the subclass by extending payment class. COD can be the subclass by extending payment class. You are getting right. So all the common properties methods you can keep it inside the base class, correct? And in the subclass, you can create any number of subclasses by extending, that superclass, correct? By extending parent class. So this is the main benefit of inheritance, code reusability. This is one of the very important concept in the object-oriented programming, right? It is one of the very important concept. Then extensibility, right? See, if you observe, new persons can be added easily, right? You no need to modify all the common properties like date of birth. We kept only few things to make it very easy. Date of birth, address, right? All the persons should have address, right? Without address, person cannot be. Aadhaar number, PAN number can be, right? So we can keep, now government of India making mandatory, right? Everything. So you can keep all the common properties in the base class, right? And subclasses you can create very easily. It can be businessman, it can be employee or non-employee or director, right? Whatever it can be, right? So you can create any number of subclasses simply inheriting, right? We no need to modify anything. Common properties only we should keep inside this one. Method overriding, this I did not touch. I don't want to make it tough. And again, it is very difficult, to make you understand all the concept together. Might be, in our regular paid class you will understand, right? In our regular paid class we will be teaching everything. So when we are going back, I'll just quickly rewind the topic, whatever we have studied. We have seen that what is inheritance. Inheritance, as we seen, it is very fundamental and basic concept, very important pillar concept in object-oriented programming, right? And the main point is child class will be inheriting all the properties and behaviors from the superclass. Properties are nothing but fields, right? Properties or fields, instance variables or attributes, all are same. And methods, instance methods or behavior from the parent class, right? We have seen that parent will be having few assets that automatically is coming to the child. This is, I can say, one of the inheritance, right? And the real time example is here we have seen there is a person class called a superclass, and employee is the subclass, and student also one of the subclass. Both are inheriting the common properties from the from the superclass, correct? And again we have seen very in depth, by using extends keyword we can go for it. And employee class is the subclass to person class. All the person class, properties and methods are inherited to employee class. Now employee class is a is having its own properties, right? So above are called fields or properties, right, or attributes or instance variables. Display and work, these are two instance methods. Method means it is used to perform something, right? So similar way we have seen another example called student. It is a subclass to person class. Again, it has its own properties like student id, course and study. And student class is inheriting three properties from parent class and one display method from the parent person class, correct? So and we have seen that in our coding as well. So in person class we have defined three properties. Constructor we have defined only for initializing, and we have defined one method, it is just printing the value of the properties. Then we have gone with one employee class. That employee class is extending person class. It means employee class is the subclass to person class, correct? Employee class is the subclass to person class. It means it is inheriting all the properties from the person class. Now employee is having all the instance variables and instance methods from subclass, and employee class is having its own properties as well, right? Like few properties and one method. And again we have used constructor to initialize employee object, right? Similar way we have gone with one more subclass called student class. Again it is extending person class, right? So again it per student is having all the properties from person class, base class, right? And it having its own methods, its own properties and method as well. Then we have seen how to go for one constructor, initializing constructor. Then we have seen like how to create object to employee class and subclass, and how to go for uh, you know um, you know invoking various methods inside uh, you know student class, correct? Guys, are you clear up to this much?